have any idea where she may be?
No.
This is Stephen Sterns, and the reason he's being questioned is terrifying. His stepdaughter, Madeline, just 13 years old, has just been reported missing. That's why the entire family was in despair. But this isn't an ordinary disappearance, and what Sterns did to Madeline became one of the worst crimes in the United States. To understand how this story took such a tragic turn, we need to go back to the beginning of Stephen Sterns' relationship with Jennifer Soto, Madeline's mother. Jennifer met Sterns shortly after leaving a troubled marriage, and even though she hadn't known him for very long, the two started dating. After that, Sterns quickly earned Jennifer's trust, and she began to see him as a future husband and a second father to Madeline. Anyone who saw them from a distance would say they looked like a normal, happy family. But the truth is, all this time, they were hiding a terrible secret. On February 26, 2024, the police received 3 reports about a possible disappearance. According to Sterns and Jennifer, Madeline had gone to school that morning but never returned home. They spoke with her classmates and teachers, but according to them, Madeline didn't show up at school that day. That's why the family became extremely worried and called the police.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here, because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got a notice, an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay, what's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline. Last name?
Soto. Soto.
Soto?
Yeah.
What was she last seen wearing?
Green hoodie.
Green hoodie.
White Crocs.
White Crocs.
Either blue or black pants.
I think black shorts.
Black shorts.
Yeah.
Black shorts? Okay. Black shorts. Alright. Do you know if she has like friends in the area?
She does, but she doesn't know where they live.
She doesn't know where they live. Okay.
I asked all of them.
Okay. Is this like, does she like have any places that you guys know that she'll usually be at? Any friend's house? Any places that like she likes to hang out?
Typically,
No.
Not typically?
No.
Okay. So they called since, I don't even know when, but whenever they, what did it say that, what did she call? My question is not, why is this not a code 3 when it first came out?
Throughout the video, you can see the concern of people for Madeline's safety. But at the same time, they felt relieved knowing that the police had started searching for her. But unlike most people, Sterns seemed indifferent, as if he wasn't concerned about finding Madeline. A short time later, around 8 p.m., Madeline was confirmed by the police as missing, and the investigation began. Up until that point, the main suspicion was that Madeline might be at a friend's house or possibly run away from home. But this seemed highly unlikely, as none of her clothes or personal belongings were missing. Additionally, she didn't take her phone, and there was nothing on it to suggest that she wanted to run away. For this reason, the police began gathering all the information they could to solve the case, speaking with Madeline's mother, her stepfather, her friends, and anyone who might have seen her. And right away, the police began to notice something very strange. Madeline's mother said she woke up very early that morning to a loud noise, and when she asked what was happening, Sterns simply said he was taking the dog for a walk. Since this was something normal, she just ignored it and went back to sleep. Then, around 4:30 p.m., she went to the school to pick up Madeline, and that's when she discovered that her daughter was missing. In other words, she didn't see Madeline at any point that day. On the other hand, when Sterns gave his statement to the police, he said he spoke with Madeline in the morning and took her to school around 8:40 a.m. This made no sense to the detectives, as the school where she attended didn't open until 9:30 a.m. So why had they left so early? At the time, Sterns didn't know what to say and claimed it might have been because Madeline was embarrassed by his car and didn't want to be seen with it. Of course, the investigators found all of this very strange. And on top of that, Sterns confirmed that he was the last person to see Madeline. Because of this, the police began to suspect that he might be involved. Another strange thing was that right after speaking with the police, Sterns went back to his house and deleted all the information from his phone. He told Jennifer that it was an accident and that he was just trying to update the device. But it was clear he was hiding something. The next day, the whole family came together to put up posters and search for Madeline. At the same time, the Orange County Sheriff's Office issued a statement about the disappearance, asking anyone with information to come forward. 2 days later, the forensic team said that they found data on Madeline's phone that could suggest she had run away to a forest. As a result, the sheriff's office organized a massive search to find her. In addition, the police also investigated the places where Madeline might have been seen for the last time. But unfortunately, they found no clues. At that point, the investigators asked Sterns to hand over his phone for forensic analysis, and he complied without hesitation. The police then went to his home, where he lived with Jennifer and Madeline, and searched everything for clues. During this time, Sterns and Jennifer had to stay in a hotel, and Sterns was in a panic because he didn't have his phone with him. Meanwhile, the police reviewed surveillance cameras along the route of Sterns' house to Madeline's school and discovered that he had lied about dropping her off at school that day. By this point, both Madeline's stepfather and mother knew that Sterns was considered a suspect. And that's when something very strange happened. Sterns left in the middle of the night and drove to Northport, Florida, for reasons that were unknown at the time, and returned only early in the morning. According to the police, Sterns' parents lived in that area, but neither of them saw him that day, which raised many questions about what he had been doing that night. As a result, on February 28, 2024, Sterns was taken to the police station for questioning.
I apologize if you've answered these questions before. It's just like I said, we're coming into the game late, so I may ask you things that you've already answered probably 3 or 4 times.
I apologize as well. My memory is not super reliable on time frames. I've been medicated for the better part of a week.
Okay, that's fine.
At the beginning, the investigators asked simple questions and even admitted that they were just repeating the questions Sterns had already answered before. But they're not doing this for no reason. The truth is, they know much more than Sterns realizes, and that becomes clear in the next question.
What are the sleeping arrangements?
He sleeps in.
Okay. Did she sleep in her bed Sunday night?
No. I was just back. I'd been away for a couple months. We in the same bed together, so to get some serious sleep. So she said no to that and suggested that the guest room upstairs had a big enough bed. So some snuggle cuddle time that would suffice, and Jen would get to sleep in peace.
Okay. So you say snuggle time. What does that mean?
Like to be alone. She is extremely dependent. She does not like to be alone at all. She needs human presence around her. Basically.
From the beginning of the interrogation, Sterns was clearly uncomfortable, but when they asked him about sleeping in the same bed as Madeline, things took a turn for the worse. And although he tried to cover it up, the truth was that the nature of his relationship with Jennifer was unsettling, because unlike what people believed, they weren't actually dating. Still, Sterns continued to live with Jennifer and her daughter, claiming to love Madeline. In addition, he told the detectives that it was common for him and Madeline to sleep alone in the same bed, which is very strange.
Was she by herself when you dropped her, or was her friends there?
Yeah, she was by herself. She said she was going to go find her friends and hang out, wait for them to show up.
Okay.
It was still early.
Where did you go after that? Like, did you see her walk towards the...
I saw her making her way towards the direction of the school, but she was like kind of shuffle steps. She was meandering her way there. She was rummaging through her backpack for something. I assumed she was looking for headphones, maybe. But as it turns out, she did leave her phone at home that day, so she might have actually been looking for a phone.
What was she wearing when she left, or when you dropped her off?
Green hoodie, black shorts, black or blue, black shorts, white Crocs.
White Crocs.
As with previous answers, Sterns gave her a Hearst response, but in this case, one detail stood out: the clothes Madeline was wearing. By this point, several days had passed since Madeline had gone missing, so the chances that the police would never find her body were very high. Despite this, if they found any of the belongings she was wearing that day, it could be enough to close the case. After that, the investigators continued the interrogation, asking Sterns about having punctured the tire on his car that day.
Where'd you get a flat at?
Somewhere along 192.
192 is a big road.
It is, and honestly, it all looks the same to me. So I've been asked, do you remember what plaza you were next to, what color? And I'm like, I'm ADD as it is, and I was in a medicated fog for the better part of a week. I'm lucky I remember what color I'm wearing right now.
To an inattentive person, what Sterns just said might seem irrelevant, but not to these investigators. On the same day, a local farmer called the police, claiming to have seen a man who looked like Sterns changing a tire on a car. Immediately, the detective sent someone to the area to search for Madeline. And now that Sterns had said he was there, any evidence found at the location would be strongly linked to him. And although it seemed like an irrelevant detail, it ended up being one of the biggest revelations of the case.
Did you take any trash out from the apartment?
The night before, I think I did. I'm not sure. I took the trash out at some point, but I don't remember if it was the night before or it was the morning of. Yeah, sometimes we get the trash bags piling up by the door. To see them.
Is there like a common trash place, or like is there take their trash to?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you took the trash out?
Yeah.
Okay. When you had her backpack, presumably her school computer was in her backpack, and you described her wearing a green jacket, some kind of dark colored shorts, and white Crocs. Okay. Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash. So, Stefan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching. Okay? Do you understand? Family's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you because this is that we need to find. And it's, as more time goes by, it's tough. I have kids, he's got kids. And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where. And I really, really, really think you can help us. I mean, you want to get something off your chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm pleading with you.
I don't know. I don't.
What happened?
I dropped her off.
Where?
I dropped her off on the road to school. That was the last I saw her.
It was at that moment that Sterns realized his secret had been discovered. Even so, he continued to deny everything and pretend to be innocent. But the truth was, this didn't matter at all, because without him knowing, a security camera had recorded him taking out the trash that morning, making his involvement in the disappearance clear. And to make matters worse, the detectives laid it all out and revealed that they already knew what kind of monster he was.
And from what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did? Okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring you here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay. What do you think was on the phone?
Text messages. Emails. Phone stuff.
Pictures?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pictures were on there?
Trading card pictures, lightsaber pictures, Disney pictures.
Do you have a Google account?
Yeah.
Do you save pictures to your Google account?
Sometimes. Yeah.
Or is it automatically? I know sometimes phones sync to a cloud and...
Yeah, I think it backs up to Google.
Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone. And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying? So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find, and I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay. Well, I'd like to try to help, but I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
So you're wanting an attorney?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. That can happen. I want to let you know you're not free to leave.
Okay.
You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for?
Yeah.
Capital battery and possession of child pornography.
Police found more than 1,700 photos and videos of him abusing Madeline on Sterns' cell phone, as well as inappropriate photos of other children. Unfortunately, some of these images were from almost 4 years ago, meaning Madeline had been suffering at Sterns' hands for a very long time. As a result, on February 29, 2024, Sterns was arrested without bail and charged with assault and possession of child pornography. Later, the investigators made a statement and explained why Sterns had been acting so strangely from the start of the investigation. Apparently, he was doing everything he could to hide the evidence of his crimes by formatting his phone and trying to delete his videos from the internet. In fact, it was for this reason that he left the hotel that night. But the worst part is that it's likely Madeline's mother knew about all of this and simply ignored it, pretending it was nothing serious. And this became clear in what she said during her interrogation.
At the time I thought he was truly heartbroken and not that he had done all this shit to her. Like, I look back at shit now, I'm just like, he was fine, he was faking. What else has he been lying to me about? I know he's like a master liar and manipulator because he's done it to his parents, and he's told me and shown me the lies he's done to his parents. But I don't know why I never thought, not me.
The lies are about money, they're about where he's at, what he's doing, like what's he...
Yeah, all that.
To his parents?
Yeah, he's stolen money from his parents.
Despite her daughter being missing throughout the entire video, it's evident that Jennifer was much more concerned about Sterns. At one point, she even admits that she knew he wasn't a good person, but thought he couldn't be capable of such a thing because he had gotten emotional during an interview. Even so, the detectives couldn't understand why she was so much more concerned about Sterns than her own daughter, even suggesting that he get a lawyer.
I think they're focusing in on you. Like, we need to call your dad, and I think we need to get you a lawyer. I feel like they're focusing on the wrong person, and he kept saying the same thing. He kept repeating what I was repeating. That they're focusing on the wrong person. They're wasting time there.
How did he feel when you said he needs a lawyer?
He didn't believe me. Like, When I told them, like, don't you see forensics is closing down the house? They know something's happening. They wouldn't be locking down the house this way if they didn't have suspicions of something. But I wasn't thinking, I don't know why I wasn't thinking him. Like, I was just like, no, they've got the wrong guy.
Their hand, they said, Stephen, we want your phone. Stephen, we want to talk to you. We're going to lock down your residence. You can't go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Steph. Because at that point you became more worried about him being falsely accused than any. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense? People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you are going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement, her location, or something to where in your mind there's guilt.
I promise you, like...
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. You guys showed me the picture of her. I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth.
We know that now. We know he's a piece of now.
You know.
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
The detectives tried to remind Jennifer of everything Sterns had done to her daughter, and that the most important thing was to find her. But even so, Jennifer seemed unable to grasp the seriousness of the situation. So much so that she even referred to the years of abuse suffered by Madeline as if it were something irrelevant, surprising the detectives with her coldness. In the end of the interrogation, despite the investigators' efforts, Jennifer didn't reveal anything that could be helpful to the investigation, so they decided to release her. But the police's efforts weren't in vain. On March the 1st, 2024, Madeline Soto's body was found near the spot where Stern's car had gotten a flat tire, in a forest near Hickory Tree Road in Osceola County. According to the experts, the victim was wearing the same clothes reported by the family on the day of her disappearance, and a preliminary analysis indicates that the cause of death was strangulation. According to the detectives, the entire crime took place at Sterns' house in Kissimmee, and the motive behind it was possibly Madeline's pregnancy. If people had found out, everyone would have known what he had been doing to her. So it's very likely that the sound that woke Jennifer on the morning of the disappearance was Sterns taking Madeline's life and attempting to move her body to the car. This all just shows how Sterns is an extremely manipulative and cruel psychopath. He planned his crime down to the smallest details to try to stay unpunished, and when he realized he would be discovered, he did everything he could to hide the evidence and deceive the police, like when he lied about dropping Madeline off at school on the morning of her disappearance. By doing this, Sterns managed to make the police go in circles for quite some time, but a traffic camera eventually revealed the truth. Although the images have not been released, the police say they show Sterns in his car with Madeline. But unfortunately, at that moment, Madeline was already lifeless. After all the details were shared, Madeline's friends and family were in mourning and began demanding justice. Finally, on March 2nd, 2024, Sterns was tried for the first time but refused to appear in court. On that occasion, this lawyer represented him and requested bail so Sterns could await trial in freedom, but the request was denied. 5 days later, the police revealed the testimony of a former friend of Sterns about his relationship with Madeline. According to this friend, Sterns only dated Jennifer to get closer to Madeline. And throughout the time they were together, Sterns seemed much more interested in Madeline than in Jennifer. He also revealed that he didn't understand why Sterns and Jennifer told the police they were a couple, when in reality they were no longer together. And that on the day they broke up, Sterns was extremely upset, not because of Jennifer, but because he was afraid he wouldn't be able to see Madeline anymore. After all of this, on March 12, 2024, the Orange Osceola District Attorney's Office filed 60 charges against Sterns, ranging from assault to child abuse. But even though it's already clear what a monster Sterns is, unfortunately, this case gets even worse. After learning about the entire situation, Sterns' father called the police to hand over 2 old computers he had found while cleaning his son's room. According to police, he was afraid they might have more inappropriate videos of minors. But after an analysis, it was discovered that Sterns had removed the storage drives from the computers. Shortly after that, Sterns' father called the detectives again, believing he had found the missing storage device and a flash drive as well. According to him, these devices might have been the reason Sterns went to Northport late at night. He probably wanted to hide it from the police, knowing that he was about to be discovered. And he was right, because what the police found on them was horrifying. After an examination, investigators confirmed that there were more than 35,000 inappropriate images and videos of on the devices. After this shocking news, on April 24, 2024, Sterns was finally charged with first-degree murder. And about a month later, prosecutors filed the death penalty request against Sterns. As of the time of this video, Sterns' final trial still doesn't have a set date, but it's certain that at the very least, he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. On the screen right now, a video is playing where the police discovered the horrible secret this mother was hiding inside the car.